Let's talk about hot dogs. Who's had a hot dog and a soda from Costco? If you have kids, I know you've eaten more than your share. $1.50. $1.62 with tax. This guy eats a lot of Coke and hot dogs from Costco. They have not raised the price of a hot dog and a Coke for 30 years. They make no money on a hot dog. But every year they sell 100 million hot dog and soda combinations. What does that mean to an internet marketer? 100 million people buying their front-end product who are in their store with the propensity to spend money. They know the demographic, they know who their avatar is. It's all a marketing process, okay? Now, as I pull the curtains back on Costco, how many of you are disappointed? How many of you are going like, oh, they totally scammed me? No? Anybody? Oh, wait until I tell you what's next. Oh, this one's gonna get you. Costco has a philosophy, a marketing philosophy, and it's called the full cart philosophy. Their goal is they will design their stores, they will design their marketing process internally to make sure that everyone leaves with a full cart. And if you've ever shopped at Costco, you know it works, right? Like $100. It's like, I gotta go to Costco. Oh, here's a couple $100. Like, you just know it's gonna go somewhere. I mean, you're like, oh, these chocolate-covered mangoes are only $10? Cool. But I bought like 8 of those things before I even got my toilet paper. It's the full cart theory, okay? So I'm gonna tell you a quick story of my family about a $700 bucket of hummus. Okay, true story. My wife says to me, hey, will you go to the Costco and grab me some hummus? Seasonally at Costco, they sell beet hummus, okay? Happens to be really good. And she says, will you go get me some? And I was like, sure, that's easy enough. So I stopped by Costco, and where's the hummus? I go and I walk through the whole entire store, and I don't walk in the door with the $7 thing of hummus. I walk in, arms loaded with 2 stand-up paddle boards. Stand-up paddle boards, I'm not kidding. Here they are. $350 a piece. There they are. I went in for hummus and I walked out with $700 worth of paddle boards. She did, because I had to go back and get the hummus. Come on, I'm a guy, right? I'm like, no way, they're 10 feet tall. Like, and they fit under my arms. Have you had this experience? Anybody had this experience before with Costco? Yeah? You went in for one thing, walked out with 25 others, right? It is a marketing process. Costco is a for-profit company. Do you think I felt scammed for walking out with these paddle boards? Okay, I'm going to step off script just really. You can tell I don't really follow a script, but I'm going to step off my script just a little bit and explain something to you on the side. The only time you regret this is when you don't use it. The only time you regret somebody else's marketing process is when you bought it and you don't use it. And all of a sudden you feel, oh, I wasn't going to use that word. Just kidding. Yeah, you feel like somebody took advantage of you, right? But in the end, they didn't take advantage of you. They were running a for-profit business, okay? I happen to be very cheap, and so there's no way that those are going to sit in my garage like that. In fact, when I was preparing for this late last night, I texted my wife and I was like, hey, can you send me a picture of our paddle boards? I want to use this as an example, you know, and there they are. That's direct from my garage. Do you think I regret buying those when I went in there for hummus? I use it for what I bought it for, okay? I use those things all the time. If you see them, they're banged up, they're beat up, they have holes in them. My kids are like begging to go on them. Whenever we go on the boat, they're like, bring the paddle boards, bring the paddle boards. I have never once ever regretted that decision to trade my attention from a $7 bucket of hummus into a $700 purchase of paddle boards, ever, because I use them. Can you hear what I'm saying? Are my lines wide enough to where you're reading right between all my lines? But I need to let that sit just for a minute. The only time you regret it is when you don't use it. These events, sand, the community, we put these things together so that you can use what you bought. You can implement what you bought. Let me tell you a personal story. I've been doing this for many years. It's something that I absolutely enjoy. I've had the blessing of having some success with it. I've had the blessing of having some not success with it at times. But every once in, you hear people on stage say it's not about the money. Anybody ever heard this? Okay, the only people that ever say they're the ones that already made it. Was that too honest? Okay, while we're on that, let me tell you one more funny one. Anybody on stage ever tell you don't work harder, work smarter? Yeah, they only say that after they worked really hard and made all their money. Okay, but they get up here and they tell you these things, right? And they tell you that it's not about the money. I've said that before on stage. I've said it's not about the money. Well, for a period of my career and for the period of my time online, I will admit, and I won't apologize, it was absolutely about the money. But I can spend money, obviously. Just send me to Costco. But there's something that happens every once in a while that takes you back, that steps you back a little bit. And you're going through your routine, you get into this little, I'm on stage, I'm a speaker kind of guy, and then you show up at an event like this and you haven't seen some people for a couple of years. You run into a guy like JT the Bolt and he puts his arms around you and he says, it's so good to see you again. It's like a long lost friend, okay? Then you're out last night and you run into people like Chris and Susan Beasley. And they say, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. And all of a sudden you get that little drop in your voice and you're like, what? I thought it was all about the money. Okay, and then you run into Muriel. And sorry, this is where it gets real. This is where it gets fun for you as business owners. I run into Muriel and she says, hey, you challenged me a year ago. You asked me what my intention was. And I told you I want to move to Costa Rica. And did you see her video in the beginning? She and her husband actually moved to Costa Rica and she said, thank you for challenging me. Then it became real. Then I realized I was using my business. The thing that I bought, the thing that put me on this stage eventually, I used it, I implemented it. I struggled with it. I spent money on it. But never once have I ever felt scammed or taken advantage of. Now I appreciate the marketing schemes. Now when I go to Costco, I'm like, what else do they have? I'm like, I got my wallet. Oh, hummus? That's it? Actually, the hummus is very good. I share these things with you because I want you to better understand how this all works. Marketing is around you every single day. How many of you have a main street of commerce in your hometown? There's like a Broadway or a Parkway or a State Street or a university or a Main Street. And on that street, there's a lot of commerce. What I would challenge you to do is to walk up and down that street and start pointing at different businesses and seeing if you can identify what their business plan is. See if you can figure out how they created a business in a traditional sense. Because for a lot of us at our age, being as young as we are, right? We remember traditional business better than we remember internet business, right? So if we go out and find those businesses, let's look at an insurance broker. An insurance broker, is that a traditional, socially accepted occupation as an insurance broker? Sure, we can all recognize that. We're forced. It's like one of the last legalized forms of extortion, right? You have to buy insurance. Oh, personal opinion, sorry. But yeah, let's look at their business model. Can we correlate it to internet marketing? Do you realize that an insurance broker, in internet terms, is what we call an affiliate? An insurance broker does not offer insurance. They do not write you a check when you crash your car. When your basement floods, they don't come and fix it. An insurance broker advertised, got your attention, and gave you to an insurance company. They were the middleman. They are an affiliate of an insurance company or several insurance companies. So when you see the insurance broker, think about it, go, I wonder how they get business. I wonder how they get traffic, okay? What about the car wash? The car wash on the corner, what kind of business model is that? What's that? Traffic driven, absolutely, okay? It is a retail service business. You come in and you buy their service directly from them.